July 27th, 2008. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series heads to the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the annual Brickyard 400. Approximately 240,000 fans travel to these hollow grounds to watch NASCAR's top drivers and some of their home state heroes run 160 competitive laps and to be the one to kiss the bricks. However, what they saw were a bunch of short sprint races, tire catastrophes, and half-ass racing that would hurt the reputation of this race for years to come. How did all this happen? How did this race become the worst Brickyard 400? When the race weekend was started, with teams taking to the track for first practice, drivers and teams started to notice that tire wear was really high that day, which was normal for the first day, as it takes time to rubber the track in. However, on day 2, teams realized that the track is still not rubbering in. Instead, the rubber is turning into dust. This is not the first time that Indianapolis has had a tire problem, though. In 2005, Formula One raced here for their US Grand Prix, where they had multiple blowouts in practice, and as a result, all but 6 drivers protested the FIA. Slapshoes did a great video on this race, and it was essentially caused by 2 reasons. One was due to the tire war going on between Bridgestone and Michelin, as the Michelin tires were blowing out and the Bridgestones were holding up, resulting in all the Michelin drivers boycotting the race. However, there is no tire war going on here, as Goodyear is the sole provider of tires. And not only that, Goodyear knew about the problems with this tire. In April earlier that year, Kurt Busch, Dale Jr., and Brian Vickers went and did a tire test, and it was the first time that the Car of Tomorrow took their track. With all the extra downforce from the wing on the Car of Tomorrow, it was putting more pressure to the tire, and the track surface being rough caused the tires to wear out after 15 laps. When the test was concluded, Goodyear saw the issue with the tire, but they figured the problem would resolve itself when all 43 cars are on the track, which leads to the second reason for the F1 fiasco. The racetrack surface is diamond grinded. Diamond grinding is grinding all the bumps off the track, making the track really smooth. However, it essentially becomes a cheese grater for tires. Going in the race day, there is some concern about tires for the race. Not just if the track will rubber in, but if they even have enough tires. Goodyear even brought in tires that they would run at Pocono just to be safe. Before the start of the race, NASCAR made the decision to throw a competition caution after 10 laps to check tires and would do so until they thought the track was rubbered in. As the start of the race has come around, it didn't take too long for problems to come arise. After an early caution on lap 5, NASCAR pushed the caution back to lap 14. On lap 14, Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick would crash after what looked like Kurt blew a right rear tire. At lap 26, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who was leading, suffers a right rear failure after a 19-lap run on the tires after pinning on lap 7 during the earlier caution. He'll go a lap down and will have to battle to get back on the lead lap for half the race. At lap 29, Juan Pablo Montoya loses a right rear while running 4th and tore up the right quarter panel on the car, causing a caution. During that stint, Jimmy Johnson stated that he could see Jeff Gordon's right rear cording from the car, and before the competition caution came out, Ryan Newman had a right rear go bad. Mark Martin is playing it safe, as he's pitting before the caution while losing track position, but he's saving the car. On lap 47, Carl Edwards loses a right rear, but keeps the car intact. The same cannot be said about his teammate Matt Kenseth, as he loses a right rear and destroys the right quarter panel off the car, flinging parts and pieces off the car. He'll have to take his car to the garage for repairs. We are over a quarter of the race in, and the tire situation is not getting any better. Tires are still cording like crazy, and no rubber is being applied to the track. Matt Kenseth sat in his car in the garage, and during his interview said that drivers are running 3/4 speed just to be safe, so they don't lose a tire. On lap 65, the 4th competition caution comes out, and the first one without any blowouts. What was really interesting was Kyle Busch just started dropping spots after having the lead, as he had a flat right rear. After pit stops, crew chiefs report that the tires are still cording, but are not as bad as they were. Greg Stucker, the director of race tire sales, believes that the car is what is causing the right rear to wear out more than the right front. Another competition caution will come out on lap 82. We are halfway into this race, and the tires are still not improving. They are still cording as if they were on the track for the very first time. Mike Helton, during the caution, came over to the TV booth and just said pretty much that they're just going to keep managing the race with competition cautions for safety and to run all 160 laps. Another caution would come out on lap 97, and wear is still not improving. There's now talks of possibly putting the Pocono tires on just to finish the race. A caution for Brian Vickers losing a motor comes out after they go back to green, which is a sigh of relief for the teams as tires wouldn't wear out so quick. The ESPN pit road reporters ask the owners what they think of how everything has been handled, and they all say that everyone is basically making the most of this situation. The race would go back green with 48 laps to go, and they actually tried getting a race going. NASCAR threw another competition caution with 39 laps to go with no issues. The race restarts with 33 to go and announced the next competition caution will be at 138. During this stint, it's been single file and spread out from the green with Denny Hamlin leading. Caution would come out with 22 to go, which is lucky for Jimmy Johnson as he started losing his tires as reported by Carl Edwards, who was behind him and passed him right before the caution. The race restarts with 19 laps to go with Denny Hamlin still out in front, but he's got Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards on the charge after losing multiple stops on pit road. Other drivers are now getting even more aggressive, as they know the last caution comes out at 10 to go, and they want to get in the best spot for the last stop. The last caution will come out with 10 to go, and drivers make their final stop of the day. All the leaders take 2 tires, with Jimmy Johnson winning the race off pit road, and Carl Edwards falling behind him. The race restarts with 7 to go, and Jimmy and Carl pull away from the rest of the pack. Carl makes the attempt to get to Jimmy, but Jimmy, who had the best car of the weekend, is able to keep his distance and to win his second Brickyard 400. Everyone after the race was disappointed by how the race had gone. A total of 52 laps of the race were ran under caution because of this problem. Jeff Gordon called it embarrassing, Brian Vickers said it was unacceptable, and Matt Kenseth said it wasn't much of a race. Drivers made these statements, but the fans made their thoughts known throughout the years. The 2009 running of the race saw an estimated 180,000 fans attend, a 25% drop in attendance from the year prior. 5 years later, at the 2013 race, only an estimated 70,000 fans attended the race. In 5 years, the race lost 71% of their attendance numbers, and didn't stop there. Since NASCAR doesn't post their attendance numbers anymore, we have to do a quick Google search. According to the Indy Star, the lowest attendance for the Brickyard was 2017, where only 35,000 fans were in attendance. But the last Brickyard 400 that allowed fans was in 2019, and it's reported 60,000 fans were in attendance. After the 2020 race, NASCAR opts to have both Cup and Xfinity Series run the road course, after the success of the Xfinity race in 2020. However, the attendance numbers haven't changed. It's reported that the 2021 race only had 60,000 fans there, and doesn't look like attendance improved after that race. After an outcry of support from fans and drivers, and for the 30th anniversary of racing at Indianapolis, NASCAR will return to the oval for the first time since 2020, and for the first time with the next-gen car. There was a tire test held in June and had Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Todd Gilliland doing the test. There was only one accident in that test, with Kyle Busch spinning and crashing. Other than that, it seemed the test went well. Denny Hamlin stated that the car is suited better for the oval than the road course. Now, when the green flag drops on race day, there will be a few questions that will need to be answered. And one of those questions will be, will we have another 2008 style race with this new car? But only the actions that happen in that race will determine the answer to that question. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.